Hi everyone, welcome back. It's that time again. It is time for the Sephora sale. I'm so excited. I just get excited for this every time. I can't help it. I'm a beauty lover, so this is like the Super Bowl for me. So I can't wait to share all my favorites with you that I would recommend checking out for the sale. I'm going to share makeup, of course, a little bit of skincare, and a few other random things that they do sell at Sephora. I am going to include some of my staple products that you see me use all the time and some new things as well. But I always like to include older things as well in these videos instead of just focusing on new things, because I think it's helpful as a viewer to know what my tried and true favorites are that make it in this video over and over and over again. And also, of course, anything new that I've discovered, I want to share that too. So we have a good mix of everything. I hope you're excited. If you enjoy the video, if you're excited for the sale, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And if you're new, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's just get right into it. We're gonna start with SPF. SPF is something that I switch up quite a bit, so I always tend to have a new favorite. A few that I like that you can get from Sephora. Number one is this one from Kiehl's. This is the Better Screen UV Serum Sunscreen with SPF 50. Now this is a serum texture, so it's very hydrating. So I would really only recommend this one for normal to dry skin, because this adds a lot of hydration to the skin. So if you have oily skin, I probably wouldn't direct you to this one. It's a beautiful sunscreen under makeup though. I haven't had any issues with any product I've tried to pair this with. It does not have a tint, so this is untinted. This one is a chemical SPF. I have another one that I'll talk about in a minute that is a mineral SPF, but this one has been a new favorite for me for under my makeup. The other SPF that I really like right now from Sephora is from Ultraviolette, and it's the Future Screen with SPF 50. Now this one is tinted, so it does have a little bit of tint to it, and it's SPF 50, but it is a mineral SPF. So this one is 20% zinc oxide. This one is not quite as glowy as the Kiehl's. This one has more of a natural finish. So for that reason, I think more skin types could probably use this one and it wouldn't be too much. It does have a tint though. That's the only thing. Sometimes I don't want a tinted SPF. I want something that has no color, which is why I've been going for this one. But I love both of these formulas that you can get at Sephora. All right, let's start with foundations. So I do have a few new ones to recommend this time around. We'll start with the one that I actually have on today. This is the new Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Foundation. This is beautiful. It is a very glowy serum foundation. You get medium to full coverage from this. So if you're looking for a light option, you like more minimal coverage, that is not going to be, this one's not going to be for you. This is full on makeup. So for me, this is more of a special occasion foundation or something I would wear for like a wedding or something like that. I would not pull this out every day because it is so pigmented and more of a full coverage, but it is beautiful. I will say, because it is a serum texture, it stays pretty glowy and pretty tacky on the skin. So if you don't like that, you're gonna wanna use a setting powder with this for sure. It does not set down on its own. So I use quite a bit of powder when I wear this, and it's definitely gonna be best, in my opinion, for normal to dry skin, but it's a beautiful special event or long wear full glam foundation. Now, if you have an oilier skin type, this is the foundation I would recommend, and this is actually my favorite of all the complexion products that I've been trying lately. The Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. This would work for all skin types, in my opinion, because it is more of a satin finish. I think if you're oily, combo, dry, normal, anybody can use this. This is a medium coverage foundation. It's not nearly as full coverage as Natasha Denona. Even if you build it up a little bit, Natasha Denona still has more coverage than this one. This is extremely long wearing, and it's also very, smooth looking on the skin. It has a little bit of a blurring quality to it. I would not say that about Natasha Denona. I do think that they claim that one to be blurring. I personally think it's not. It's very hydrating and very glowy, but I would not call it blurring. This one I would call smoothing and blurring on the skin, and good for all skin types. This is my new favorite foundation if I had to pick one. For lighter coverage options, I have two that I love from Sephora. The first one is from Merit, and this is the Uniform. So this is their tinted mineral SPF that came out this summer. I love this product. This is SPF 50, is that right? Or excuse me, it's SPF 45. This is beautiful. It's very light coverage, and it has more of a natural satin finish, kind of similar to the Makeup by Mario. I do think this one's a little bit more hydrating than Makeup by Mario, and it's definitely lighter in terms of coverage. This is like light medium, depending on how much you're applying, but I love this all over with a fuller coverage concealer. That's been a go-to combination for me since I tried this earlier this year. This is such a beautiful product. I absolutely love it. I wear the shade 26, and it's a really good shade match for me. So if you're looking for something lighter that's hydrating on the skin with SPF, I would recommend this one from Merit. And the other skin tint that I love is from Ciele. If you watch my videos, you've heard me talk about this many, many times. I still love this. This is the Tint and Protect with SPF 50. This is also a mineral SPF that's more of a serum texture. The Merit is more of like, kind of like a thicker, almost like a moisturizer kind of texture. This one is thinner and it's more of a serum. It has more pigment though, so this has more coverage than the Merit. You can get close to a medium coverage from this skin tint, which is really nice if you're looking for something with SPF, but that does provide some coverage as well. This is great for that. I love Ciele. This is one of their best products, if not their best product in my opinion. This would definitely be best for normal to dry skin as well. This is more of that serum texture, so kind of like the Natasha Denona, I would not recommend this for oily skin. The Merit, I do think most skin types could wear it because it is more of that satin finish. All right, moving on to color corrector. Y'all know I'm always going to include correctors in these videos, and unfortunately I don't really have anything new to share with you. These are the two that I would recommend. I have talked about both of these so much in the past year, maybe year and a half, honestly. I love them both. Kosas Revealer Brightening Under Eye Corrector in the shade Illusion works best for me. This is a pretty full coverage corrector, so it's very creamy. I wouldn't call it ultra hydrating, but it does have a pretty creamy texture, very similar to the Revealer Concealer from Kosas, but this has a lot of pigment, so a little bit goes a long way with this one. But honestly, I'm a new mom. I have really dark under eye circles right now. This has been the one that I've been going to for the past 5 months since I had my baby, and I love it. I would recommend this over and over, and I will absolutely repurchase this when I run out. If you're looking for something lighter with less coverage that's a little bit more hydrating, I would go for Caliray. I do have this one on my right eye today. I have Kosas on my left eye. This is beautiful as well. It's a great corrector. It's just lighter. It's much thinner in terms of the consistency, and you're only going to get a light medium amount of coverage from this. It's also more hydrating. So I love them both. Lately, I have been going for Kosas more because I need more coverage right now, but Caliray is a great lighter weight option. All right, moving into concealer now. These are probably not going to be a surprise if you watch my videos, but this is how you know what I truly love, the products that make it in this video over and over and over and over every time the Sephora sale comes around. Natasha Denona is still a holy grail. I know I've said it 1,000 times at this point, but this is holy grail. As you can see, I have 4 different shades right here. This is one of my most used makeup products out of everything that I own. I use this all the time, either on its own or to spot conceal. I love it under the eyes. I love it on my face. It's fantastic. Today I use shade N2 on my face to get a little bit more coverage. I didn't use a ton of it because I didn't really need a whole lot of it, but I did use the shade N2. N2 is probably my most used shade. I also love RN 2.5 and N3 if I'm a little bit more tan. I can use a bunch of different shades, but N2 and RN 2.5 are my most used. This is full coverage, much like the foundation from Natasha Denona. This is very pigmented, very thin in formula. It doesn't have a thick texture, but it packs a punch with pigment. So you don't need to apply a ton of this to get quite a bit of coverage, but it's holy grail. It's holy grail. I love it. If you're a full coverage concealer lover and you have not tried this, you gotta do it. You gotta do it during the sale. I also love Tower 28. This concealer is great as well. It's a thinner concealer than Natasha Denona, and it has a little bit less coverage. I do hear sometimes people refer to this as full coverage. I would say this is more of a medium coverage. It's just lighter than Natasha Denona. If you like something that has some coverage, but you don't need full coverage, something that's thin and pretty hydrating, I would go for Tower 28. This is also beautiful all over the face. I reach for mine all the time. Again, you've heard me talk about this quite a bit, and I still love it. And the last concealer, I guess, is the newest one that I'm going to share, is the Sarah Creal. Now, this is a beautiful concealer. It is very expensive, so if you are wanting to try it, I would recommend getting it during the sale so you can save a little bit of money. This is very similar in terms of coverage to Natasha Denona, but this one is a little bit more hydrating and a little bit thinner than Natasha Denona, but you still get full coverage. So it's similar if you have more mature skin or more dry skin, but you still want that coverage, I might look into the Sarah Creal one. This one has really beautiful packaging as well. It's very heavy, it's glass. It's very nice. I highly recommend this one as well. Moving into powders, I have a few things to share here. First, my loose powder that I've loved really since it was released is from Makeup by Mario, the Surreal Skin Loose Setting Powder. This is such a beautiful powder. It really sets the makeup, it mattifies and just smooths out the skin, but it doesn't look heavy. It's not a heavy, like full glam looking powder, but it gives you that type of result. It's very, very nice. And if you apply this with a puff, for some reason this is even more blurring and smoothing with a puff. It works well with a brush too, but for whatever reason, this formula in particular looks really beautiful with a powder puff. So if you're looking for a good loose powder to set the makeup, do all the things that you need, this is the one I would go for. I think this would work for all skin types. The other loose powder that is newer to me, but I do really like it, I did use this one today, is the Caliray Magic Hour. So this is a little bit different from Makeup by Mario because this is even more mattifying. This is matte, matte, matte. So for oily skin, I might recommend this formula overall. I think you would also like the Makeup by Mario, but this one is so mattifying that I do think it would probably be best for oily skin. It might be a bit too much for very dry skin. But if you're wanting to really mattify and smooth and blur all the things, this powder is one of the most mattifying I've tried in quite a long time. It does not come in a ton of shades. This is the pink one. There's one more in like a peachy color. So that's the only thing. There's not a great shade range in this. But if one of those shades would work for you and you want a very matte loose powder, this one is great. And then the other powder that I've talked about so much lately, but I'm going to put it in here, is Fenty Invisimatte. Now this is a pressed powder and this is more of a touch-up powder or a finishing powder. So I typically use this after I've done my makeup and I see an area of my face that I want to blur a little bit more or it just looks a little bit shiny. That's what I'll use this for. This is also great throughout the day to touch up and kind of get rid of any shininess. It's so fine. So fine. Like it's not going to do it justice on the camera, but it is so thin. It does not look like anything on your skin, but it mattifies and just immediately reduces shine. I love it so much. It's a great one to take on the go with you in your purse. I will probably be buying this during the sale in one of the new colors, the color correcting colors, but I do highly recommend this from Fenty. Moving into bronzers, I have quite a few to share. Some that won't surprise you, Makeup by Mario, the Skin Enhancer. I don't know how many times I've talked about this, but this is another product that is one of my most used in my entire collection, as you can see. This is such a foolproof bronzer. It's very sheer, so you're not going to get a ton of sculpting and pigment. It's just like a bronze balm tint. That's how I would describe it. It is very balmy, so it's pretty hydrating, kind of luminous looking on the skin. So if you have oily skin, I probably wouldn't get this one. I would go for his other option, which is the Bronzing and Shaping Serum. This is great as well. Very similar product, but this one sets down on the skin. It doesn't have that balmy texture. So if you have oily skin and you're looking for that light, kind of barely there bronzed effect, I would go for this. If you're more dry and you like that kind of dewy, juicy look, I would go for the Skin Enhancer. I love them both. The serum does have a doe foot and a pump, which I love. It makes it very versatile, but these are two just staple holy grails in my collection. Now, a new favorite, where is it? Is this. I do have this on today. This is the Too Faced Melting Bronzer. Yes, Melting Bronzer and Sculpting Stick. I purchased this probably about a month or two ago now, and I have been clearly sleeping on this formula because this is fantastic. Now this is like a pretty pigmented cream bronzer. So this is not as natural looking on the skin as the Mario products, but this is great. This is so creamy. I mean, it's insane how creamy this formula is. It's so buttery and just easy to work with, even though it does have quite a bit of color to it. This is fantastic. I'm actually gonna buy one shade up from this during the sale. This is Milk Chocolate, which is the lightest shade. This is a little bit light for me. It's more of a contour shade on me. I am gonna get one shade up during the sale because I absolutely love this. So if you haven't tried this formula and you're looking for a new cream bronzer, I love this one from Too Faced. In terms of powders, I have two to share. I kind of stick with the same powder bronzers, honestly. I might pick up a new one during the sale, but Haus Labs, one of the best powder bronzers at Sephora, in my opinion. This is called the Power Sculpt Bronzer. These are very unique. Now, I wouldn't call them a super glowy bronzer, but they're not matte either. They have a really beautiful kind of natural sheen to them, but they're so nice and very easy to apply. It never goes on patchy. I did apply a little bit of this over the top of that Too Faced bronzer today just to show you. This is in the shade Soleil Sand. If you're looking for a matte bronzer, I love the Makeup by Mario, the Soft Sculpt Blurring Bronzer. This is a matte bronze, so there's no shimmer, no sheen, no nothing. This is just a flat matte bronzer, but it's fantastic and it applies beautifully on the skin. It has a very smoothing, kind of blurring finish to it. This is a great option if you're looking for a matte bronzer. All right, moving into blushes. Of course, this is one of my favorite categories, and I tried to narrow this down as much as I could, y'all. I really did. But there are just so many new blushes all the time. And of course, I have favorites that I always recommend. So we'll start with a favorite. Of course, if you know me, you know what I'm gonna say. It's the Patrick Ta blushes. I love these so much. I honestly am a collector of these at this point because I have almost all the shades. This is the blush that I have on today. I used this one in She's Seductive. This is a beautiful warm nude for my skin tone. I have so many favorites though. I'll try to include some swatches here of my favorite shades. This is one of them in She's Seductive. I love She Goes to the Gym. I love She's Wanted. I love She's That Girl. There are so many that I love, but this formula is fantastic. Now it is very pigmented, so you do have to be a little bit careful with this one. I always go on the back of my hand with this formula, whether it's the cream or the powder, because they're very pigmented. So you really don't need a lot if you have a lighter skin tone. Now you can obviously really build them up and get a lot of intensity, but you can also apply just a little bit of this and get a much lighter application. You get a powder and a cream. You can apply them cream and then powder, or they apply great powder with cream on top. Y'all know. If you know me, you know I love these from Patrick Ta. Now, a new find that I really love as well is a powder blush, and it's these from Ciele. This is their new Flush and Protect blush with SPF 45. So this is a powder blush with SPF 45. It is a combo SPF, so it has both chemical and mineral filters. This is such a beautiful formula though. If you're looking for a powder blush, this one I would say is kind of more of a, definitely has a sheen to it. It's not a glowy, like super luminous blush, but it's not matte. It just kind of gives your skin a tiny bit of like a natural radiance, which I love. I have several of them. This is Cozy. I also have Shy, which is more of a warm pink. My favorite is Blaze, which is actually maybe the darkest color that they make. It's a berry tone and it's beautiful, especially for the fall. These are very similar to the new Ilia blurring blushes, which I also love. They're very similar in terms of the formula, so you don't really need both. I would pick which one speaks to you the most. These have SPF, the Ilia formula does not. These have a little bit more glow, in my opinion, than the Ilia. The Ilia has a sheen, but they have a little bit more of a blurring quality to them that I don't really see with this. But overall, they're very similar. Now, another newer formula that I really love are these from Summer Fridays. These are the Blush Butter Balms. So these are a cream blush, and these are, because they're that balmy texture, they are very glowy on the skin. So you have to like a glowy blush. But these are actually very nice, and they're pretty long wearing. I was pleasantly surprised when I tried these. I don't know why I thought they were going to be really light and not have much pigment to them, but they actually do. And they're very long wearing on me. I have this one in Toasted Terracotta, which is like a beautiful warm nude. And I also have a Berry Spritz, I believe is what it's called. It's more of a wine, kind of like Patrick Ta, She's Wanted. I love them both, but this is also a great formula if you're looking for a new cream blush. And then the other one that I want to recommend, I went back and forth. There's so many blushes that I love, but this is still a favorite for me. These are the Kosas Blush is Life Baked Blushes. These are very similar to the Hourglass blushes. They give you that really beautiful kind of diffused glow to the skin. They don't have noticeable shimmer in them. This is my favorite color, which is Euphoria. It's a really beautiful mauve shade. I would say in terms of pigment level, they're kind of in between the Ciele blushes and the Patrick Ta blushes. These are like right in the middle. They're very buildable, so you can get more pigment if you really build them up, or you can get very little pigment with just a little bit of like a healthy sheen. But I do love this formula as well, so I wanted to mention these too. In terms of highlighter, I don't really use highlighter enough to really recommend them. The only one that really comes to mind that I love that you can get at Sephora is this one from Sephora Collection. So this is the Luminizer, and this is shade Sparkling Honey. I've talked about this one before, but these are beautiful baked powder highlighters that look very creamy on the skin, almost like they are a cream, but they're not, they're a powder. And they're also made, I believe this is the one that's made in Italy. So if you know, you know. Makeup made in Italy is typically very good and very luxe. This formula is. This shade in particular is also really pretty on the eyes as eyeshadow. So this is really my only highlighter recommendation. I'm not a huge highlighter person, to be honest, but I do like these from Sephora Collection. Now, in terms of brows, I kind of switch up my brow product depending on my mood. There are two products that I love that you can get at Sephora. I don't have either of them right now because I use them both up, but the first one is a brow pencil. That's the Kosas Brow Pop Nano. I had that recently. I used mine up. I'm actually going to repurchase that pencil. I don't repurchase higher end brow products that often, but that pencil in medium brown is such a perfect shade for my hair, it just matches perfectly. And it's such a fine pencil. It's so tiny. It's really easy to use, very easy to draw hair-like strokes. I was really sad when it was gone, so I am planning to purchase that. And then I love the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. In my opinion, that's the best brow setter on the market. I love it. It never makes my brows look clumpy. I never see that weird kind of white looking residue in my brows. It holds them in place all day. In my opinion, that's the best brow gel. Of all of them, that one is still my favorite. I will be buying it again during the sale. And then today, what I used in my brows is another favorite I've used for a long time, the ABH Brow Powder. If you're looking for a very natural, soft brow and you have never tried a powder, you're missing out. Try a brow powder. It doesn't have to be a designated brow powder. You could start with an eyeshadow that you have that matches your brow hair, but this is a favorite. I use the shade Medium Brown, and I love how just natural and minimal it looks in my brows. All right, moving into eye products. We'll start with some cream shadows first. Of course, I still love the Armani eye tints. This is another product. If you've been with my channel for a while, you've heard me talk about these so many times. I still love them. I do now also love the Makeup by Mario eyeshadows. So we'll talk about the Armani's first. These are beautiful. I have some matte ones and some shimmer ones. I do use the matte ones more than the shimmers, but I like the shimmers as well. I love the shade 18M. That is a perfect one and done, just slightly darker than my natural skin tone kind of color. These are kind of a moussey texture. They're pretty creamy and you have a good bit of time to work with these. So if you have more mature lids or you have a drier lid, then I would recommend this formula in terms of a cream eyeshadow. But I also love the new Makeup by Mario shadows. Now these are different than the Armani's because these are matte, like they are ultra matte. When these dry down, they dry to like a powdered, almost like a velvety finish, and you cannot move them. These, you have very little playtime and they do stay. They stay all day. They work great as primers as well, so you can layer eyeshadow over these, or they work great on their own. My favorite and my most used is Sandstone. I've talked about that so many times. Very similar to 18M and Armani. It's just a little bit darker than my skin tone. Adds a little bit of color. It's a great one and done. I love it. In fact, I'm afraid I'm gonna run out, so I honestly might buy a backup of this during the sale. Today I used Sandstone and Taupe kind of at my lash line, and then I used a little bit of powder shadow that we'll talk about in a minute, but these are great for oily lids. If you have drier skin and drier lids, I would go for Armani. I love both formulas. Moving into palettes, one of my favorites in my collection from Makeup by Mario, the Master Mattes, the Neutrals. This has every matte color you could possibly need. So if you need just a basic matte eyeshadow palette with all the tones that you could need that are neutral to cool leaning, look no further. This is what you need. You can also use this for brows. It has a black, it has a dark brown you can use for liner. It has light shades, medium shades, deep shades. I love this palette. I reach for mine all the time. Of course, I'm also going to recommend the new Ethereal Eyes Nature Palette. This, I did a whole video on this that you might have seen. I did 4 looks. I used all the shades that you can watch if you want to see more of this palette. Today, I used a little bit of this shade, this like pinky nude color in my crease, and then I used a little bit of this light shimmer on my lid over the top of those Makeup by Mario cream shadows. To me, this is the prettiest palette of the year. Yes, it is very neutral and it's very soft. The Makeup by Mario eyeshadow formula is very smooth and it's very buildable is how I would describe it. So it's not a ton of pigment. If you're looking for a very intense eyeshadow formula with a lot of intensity right off the bat, that is not the Makeup by Mario formula. So I personally don't love that kind of formula, so that's why I'm recommending Makeup by Mario. These are very soft, easy to work with. very beginner friendly. If you're not great at eyeshadow or you don't have a lot of experience with eyeshadow, I promise you, you can work with his formula. So I love his new palette as well. And then a few other palettes that I love. Okay, this palette is very expensive, but if I could pick it up during the sale, I would. This is the Prada eyeshadow palette. This one is in the shade Peony, which is a very soft, neutral palette. These are, I always struggle to describe this formula. It is a powder, but it feels like a very creamy powder. The texture on these feels very creamy, but it is a powder. So for that reason, they have a little bit of sheen to them. None of these are like matte. This shade right here, this light shade, is the most matte, but even this one, if you look close, has just like the slightest bit of a sheen to it. These are so nice though, very luxe. I mean, it's Prada. Do you need a Prada palette? Absolutely not, but I love this so much. It's so soft, so just elegant. I love this palette in Peony, so I would absolutely recommend this. And then I do also love the new Hourglass Curator palettes. I have two of them. I have the Minimalist, which is just an all matte 4-shadow quad. Yes, very basic. So for all my basic neutral matte lovers out there, this is perfect. It's a very similar formula to the Makeup by Mario eyeshadows. It's very soft in terms of pigment. So again, if you're looking for intensity, you're not going to get that with this, but it gets the job done. It's easy, it's fast, it's travel friendly. I love it. And I also love this one in the Realist. So this one, you get some satin finishes, a metallic, and a matte in here. This is more of a neutral color story. The Minimalist, I would call, I guess, more of a cool toned color story, but this is beautiful as well. But again, you have to like a very soft, diffused eye look to enjoy these. Personally, I love them. I had to go heat up my coffee to get me through this video because I feel like I've been talking for so long, and it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and yes, here I am drinking a cup of coffee. If you're a mom, you know. Okay, in terms of eyeliner, I really don't have too many favorites to share. I did want to mention, again, from Makeup by Mario. I know it feels like I have some kind of tie to Makeup by Mario or that I'm sponsored by them. They have no idea who I am. I just love a lot of his products. So yes, there's a lot of Makeup by Mario in this video. I do like this pencil in particular. This is the Master Pro Pigment Pencil in the shade Taupe. So he recently released some new shades in this pencil. This was one of them in Taupe, but it's kind of a gray brown. So if you are a lighter skin tone and you want a liner, but you feel like black is too much and dark brown is too much, Taupe from him is a really good option. It defines your lashes and makes them look thicker and defines the eye without being too dark and harsh. So I really like this formula and I like this color. This also works really great in the waterline as well. I also like his liners because they come with a little smudger brush on one end, which sometimes comes in handy if you want to just kind of barely blend out your liner, flick it out a little bit. It's handy to have this little brush on the other end. So I do like this pencil from Makeup by Mario. For mascara, I actually do have 2 recommendations this time. I do love a good drugstore mascara, so typically I don't have too much to share in this category, but I do have 2 that I'm loving, and you might know what they are if you watch my videos. First, again, from Makeup by Mario, the Master Mascara, but only in the brown color. So he released the Perfect Brown when he released the new Nature palette. And this, I swear, I've said this so many times, but I swear this formula in brown is different than the black. I tried the black months ago. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was clumpy and it did smudge on me. This one is not clumpy and it doesn't smudge. I don't know why this is different, but I swear it's not the same as the black one. This is very lengthening, very separating, and I've had no issues with smudging or flaking. So I would recommend this, but only in the brown color. This one is a beautiful like milk chocolate brown. But the other one that I love is from Tower 28. This is the Make Waves mascara in the shade Drift, which is their brown. I love this one too. This one I would say is a little bit, honestly I would say it's similar to Makeup by Mario. I would say this one is maybe a little bit more separating than Makeup by Mario. Makeup by Mario I notice more in terms of length and just a little bit of fullness. This one I notice a lot of separation. It kind of fans out the lashes, if that makes sense. And I don't have trouble with smudging and flaking with this formula either. So I love them both. I really don't think you could go wrong with either one. So I would recommend this from Tower 28 as well. And finally for lips, again, I'm gonna share some things that you've heard me talk about and a few new things too. First and foremost, once again, from Makeup by Mario, the Ultra Suede Sculpting Lip Pencil. This is a mini one that I have that I got in a kit a long time ago, but I think I have 10 of his liners. I might have more than that. This one I love. This is Smoky Pink. I've kind of rediscovered this color recently. Smoky Pink is a perfect pinky nude for me. I love it so much. So that is it right there. It's just a really good, like kind of My Lips but better shade. But I also love Almond. That one is more of a brown. I've talked about that one so many times at this point. I've lost count. I love Travis. That one is more of like a chocolate brown. That one's much deeper. There are so many, but I love his formula. They are just creamy enough that they're easy to apply, but they are just a wooden pencil. So they're a pretty standard looking lip liner, but they wear all day. They are long wearing lip pencils, and he has so many good colors. They also come with a brush on one end, which is a bonus. This one doesn't have it because it's a mini, but his full size do have a lip brush on one end, which I love as well. So those lip liners in my whole collection are my most used by far. The other lip product I did want to mention is a newer discovery for me, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And this is from Huda. This is the Lip Contour Stain. So these kind of went viral when they came out. I didn't try them right when they came out and they were everywhere. So I have the shade Soft Nude in this, and it's a really beautiful brown. It's I would say like a medium toned brown. So on my skin tone, it leaves a pretty noticeable contour on my lips, but I don't know why. Lately I've been very into this lip stain trend that's going around. I like the sachet ones that you peel off. They don't sell those at Sephora, I don't think, but these are very easy to use actually. They have a felt tip, and it's a pretty big felt tip. It's not a really fine point, so it's pretty easy to apply, and these last. I have worn these for like 14 plus hours on my lips, and they don't budge. They do not budge. I have heard people saying that they dry out quickly. Mine is still fine. Mine is not super old though, so that could be why. And I do store mine upside down so that the stain stays down here and not up here. But if you like a lip stain lip liner and you are looking for a new one, I really enjoy this one, especially in Soft Nude. It's just a perfect neutral brown that goes with pretty much everything. In terms of lipstick, I don't really have lipsticks to share. I have lipsticks in my collection that I like, but I don't wear them. I don't know. I'm just not a lipstick person. I love a lip gloss though, so I have a lot of recommendations for that. Number one, I think I actually missed this in my last Sephora sale video earlier in the year, and when I edited it, I was kicking myself that I did not mention this. These are so good. These are from Edam, and they are the Le Chouchou Lip Softening Lip Balms. I don't have all of them, but I almost do. I did just receive their holiday collection, so this was sent to me, but this is in the shade Pain Au Chocolat, I think is how you say it, but it's like a chocolate brown. This is what I have on over the rest of my lip combo today. So the glossiness that you're seeing is this in this chocolate color, but these are so nice. They feel very thick on the lips, very juicy, very hydrating, kind of like a lip mask, but with a little bit of color to them. They do make a clear one as well, but this is like a really beautiful chocolate brown, and it's in the gold packaging, I think because this is their holiday collection. They also have a metal tip applicator. It feels so good on your lips. It's so cold, and just the whole experience of applying this, if you're a lip balm gloss kind of person, you need one of these in your purse. This is a great purse lip. I also love the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve. Now, I've talked about these many, many times. These are honestly very similar to the Edam ones. These don't have the metal tip applicator. They just have like a regular plastic applicator. I use this before I start my makeup. I use the one with no tint. This is just the original one, but I also have the ones that have color. I think I have 5 or 6 of these. Like, I'm not kidding. I have one in my bathroom. I have one in my purse. I have one in my filming desk. I have a few of them in my drawer. I love this formula as well. It is also a very thick, hydrating lip mask. So you have to be okay with something pretty thick and glossy on your lips, but that's my thing. That's what I'm all about. So I love these from Ole Henriksen as well. There's also one kit that Sephora has right now for the holidays that I wanted to mention that I think is so beautiful, and it's from Merit. This is called the Archival Lip Essentials. So you get 3 full-size products in here. They did send me this, but this is something I would buy with my own money 100%. If I wasn't sent it. This shade is so pretty. This is a really beautiful mauve nude, and you get the Signature Lip Blush, which is one of their lipstick formulas. It's a very matte, kind of like a powdered formula. It's kind of an interesting lipstick if you've never tried it. It's very matte though. You get that in Archival. You get their Signature Sheer Lip Liner in the same shade. And then you also get the shade Slick Sheen in the same shade, which this is a really nice kind of balmy gloss that has a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not chunky shimmer. It's very fine shimmer. But this lip combo, if you like this kind of color, so pretty. So pretty. I highly recommend this from Merit. I hope it's still in stock when the sale goes on, because I feel like this might be a set that would sell out. Would be a great gift for you or for someone else that you know loves lip products. I did want to share a few brushes. I don't use a ton of brushes from Sephora, but there are a few that I love and use all the time that I wanted to mention. So I have 2 from Sephora collection that you see me use in almost every video. So Sephora collection during the Sephora sale is 30% off, which includes all the brushes. And these are great quality. I have washed mine many, many times. They're great. I love the Sephora collection brushes. These are the 2 I use the most. I have number 79, which is a little, I think they call this a contour brush actually. I don't use it for contour. I use it for setting powder. I like a brush that's a little bit on the smaller side for setting powder. I just think it gives me a little bit more control over where the powder's going. So I use this all the time in my T-zone to set my face, and I love it. It's the perfect size. So I wanted to mention this, but I also love this brush. This is number 98 from Sephora. This is actually supposed to be for highlighter, and you could absolutely use this for highlighter, but that's not what I use it for. I use it for kind of setting the under eye area. So I use this all the time with, let me grab it, my Fenty Invisimatte powder. This is the brush you see me use all the time with this powder because it's kind of fluffy on the end. It's not super dense, but it perfectly fits in this under eye area. If I want to just smooth a little bit, add a little bit more mattification. I'll use this with this little brush and I love it. But you could also use this for highlighter since that's what it was intended for. But I use it for under eye powder. So those are my two most used brushes from Sephora collection. One more tool from Sephora that I want to mention, their puff is my favorite powder puff. I've tried so many. I've tried the one from Amazon. I've tried the Rare Beauty one. I've tried the Makeup by Mario one. The Sephora collection one is my favorite because it's a good size. It's not too big. It's not too small. And I love that it has this triangular point right here, which really allows you to get in hard to reach areas, especially around the nose, under the eyes. Really random, but if you're wanting a new puff, I love the Sephora collection powder puff. Another new brush discovery from Sephora is this from Ciele. This is the brush that they released with their powder blushes. I just picked it up on a whim because I thought the shape was really unique, and it is. So it's an angled blush brush, which we've seen a lot, but this brush has longer bristles back here and then they gradually get a little bit shorter, but it's still very fluffy. It's very, very wispy. So if you like a more soft blush application, this brush is perfect. Now it applies their blushes beautifully as I kind of expected, but this is a great blush brush in general for any powder blush. So if you're someone that's nervous by powder blush and you're always afraid of getting too much pigment, this brush is great. And I don't know, I've never seen this exact shape with these long bristles like this, but I really love this. And then two more from Makeup by Mario. I actually didn't pull them out because mine are dirty, so they're in my bathroom, but I'll pop up pictures here. The F4, a great dual-ended brush. You get two basically the same brush, just one end is smaller, one end is larger. It's great for everything. Great for foundation. It's basically a pretty dense angled brush that you can use for complexion products. You can use it for cream blush, cream bronzer, anything. Honestly, you could use it for concealer. You could use it for foundation, tinted moisturizer, whatever. It's dual-ended. So it makes it a little bit more versatile, but I actually love the Makeup by Mario brushes, particularly the face brushes. And then I also love the F1, which is a more dense angled brush and a small concealer brush. So that one I use as well. I love them both. You can't really go wrong in my opinion if you're a fan of dual-ended brushes. I love the Makeup by Mario ones. Now, I did want to put this in here because I just got these, but I have not used them yet. So this is just me sharing without having used them, but I feel pretty confident in recommending these. Makeup by Mario just came out with this little travel case and you get 5 travel size brushes in here. And I needed this, like I needed a hole in my head, but of course I bought it because I buy pretty much everything that he comes out with. But I wanted to mention this in case you're in the market for a little travel case. These are his brushes he already has, but just not dual-ended with shorter handles. And you get a little travel case to go with it. So I wanted to mention this as well if this is something that you're looking for. All right, I do have a few skincare products to share. I don't use a ton of skincare from Sephora like religiously, but there are a few things that I love and I would definitely recommend. Starting with this product from Paula's Choice. This is the 10% azelaic acid booster. So I started using this probably 2 months ago or so, and I bought this because I've heard azelaic acid is good for melasma. I did have quite a bit of melasma in my under eye area when I was pregnant, and I was looking for something to try to fade that, and I tried a bunch of different things. This is what I noticed make the biggest difference. I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is about azelaic acid, but my skin seems to react really well to this. My melasma is not completely gone, but it's pretty close to being completely gone. And I've been applying this religiously all over my face, but particularly in this area. And I've noticed a very big difference. So if you're in the same boat and you're looking for something to try, I really, really liked this from Paula's Choice. The other product I love from Paula's Choice, I've used this for years. In fact, I don't even know how many of these I've gone through, but I recently brought it back out again and purchased a new one. This is the 2% BHA liquid exfoliant from Paula's Choice. This is great for oily skin. If you have a lot of clogged pores, texture, any of those things, this has salicylic acid in it, which really helps with cell turnover, helps clear out your pores, and helps with any texture or rough areas that you have on your skin. I have pretty sensitive skin, and this toner does not bother me. I've used it for years at this point. I don't know, I've gone through at least 5 of these, I would guess, and I always repurchase it because after I use this, the next day my skin looks better, it feels better, and it doesn't bother my skin at all. So I did want to mention this as well if you're looking for a good exfoliating toner. I love this one from Paula's Choice. A newer discovery for me is this product that literally no one has talked about this. I've seen no one mention it. Clinique sent me this probably, I guess this is around the time I had my son, so it's been like 4 or 5 months now. This is the Moisture Glow Active Glow Serum from Clinique. What a beautiful skincare product. This has hyaluronic acid, it has lactic acid, and it has vitamin C. So this is a great like one and done kind of skin prep makeup product for the morning. It's a serum, so it has a thicker texture to it, and it does leave a really nice glow to the skin. So if you have really oily skin, this might be a bit much for you, but if you're dry, this is a fantastic product that nobody is talking about. In fact, I am not finished, but I'm like right here. I've almost used up this entire thing, and I love it. I would buy this 100% with my own money. And one more skincare product that I really like from Sephora is from In Beauty Project. This is the Extreme Cream Firming and Lifting Moisturizer. This is a really nice, thick cream. I typically use this at night because I like thicker products at nighttime. I go to bed looking like juicy. I lather on the stuff on my skin at night. Maybe in the winter I would use this in the daytime, but mostly this is a nighttime moisturizer for me. It has something called bioretinol in it. I don't really know what that means in terms of a retinol, but it does have that. It's supposed to be like a retinol alternative, I think. It's like a plant-based retinol. Has lots of peptides, ceramides, all the things for really hydrating and plumping the skin. So this I also love. This is either my second or my third tube or third bottle of this. No fragrance. I don't notice a scent at all. And it's a beautiful product. I love this cream. Finally, I do have one hair product to share. Now, something about me is I am not really loyal to hair products. I love to switch it up. So I'm constantly trying new things. I also love hair products from the drugstore that are much less expensive than this product. But I did buy this in the last Sephora sale, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it, so I wanted to mention it. It's a mask from Kosas. So this is the Resistance mask. They have so many different lines with Kosas. There's so many different types of hair products that they have, but this is the blue one. I think this is for dry hair, which my hair is very dry. I have very coarse hair and I have a lot of it. So this is very moisturizing. It's very thick. So if you have fine hair, this might be a little bit much for you, but my hair can take a lot of product because that's just the kind of hair that I have. And I've used quite a bit of this. I've used more than half of it. But this, if you're looking for a really good, thick, moisturizing mask, I love this one. And it smells incredible. Very expensive for a hair product, but I bought it on a whim last Sephora sale, and I thoroughly enjoy it. My hair really likes it. My hair feels very hydrated and not dry at all after I use this. So I do recommend it if you have similar hair type to me. And then one more thing I wanted to mention is a fragrance. Now I am not really a fragrance girl. I kind of find something that I like and I stick with it, but I have discovered a new fragrance recently, and I only have a travel size, but I do plan to buy the full size. This is from Armani and it's called My Way. So I bought the little travel size first just to try it out. I typically do that with fragrances just to make sure that I really like it before I buy the full size. This is my new favorite. I've been wearing this every single day. I kind of like having a new fragrance right now since I just had my son. I'm kind of in a new era of life right now, and this is my new mom fragrance. And I'm gonna pull up the notes on the Sephora app because I don't want to get them wrong. Okay, so this is a floral scent. It says the key notes are orange blossom, tuberose, and vanilla. It says it's a feminine fragrance that combines consciously sourced ingredients from around the world, including woody and floral notes. So at the base, it has white musk, cedar wood, and vanilla from Madagascar. That's what it says on Sephora. So if that sounds appealing to you, that is what this smells like. But I absolutely love this. Every time I spray it, I think, oh my gosh, that smells incredible. So this is my new signature mom scent, I guess, and I will be buying the full size. All right, y'all, that is everything. I am exhausted. I feel like I've been talking forever, but I always want to make these videos for the sale because they're fun and a lot of people ask me for a recommendations video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. As always, I will have everything listed in the description box with my shades and everything. I will also link as much as I can on the screen for you in YouTube shopping. I did also want to mention Sephora has a new feature. It's called My Sephora Storefront, and basically it's like an Amazon storefront but for Sephora. And I did sign up for that, so I have one now. So I do plan to put all these products in my Sephora storefront as well. So if you want to go and see like all the products listed together right in one place, I will have that listed in the description box as well. However you want to see the products or shop, it'll all be there for you, but I did want to mention that. So look in the description box for that link. Of course, as always, if you do shop through my links, it really helps me out and it helps all of us creators this time of year. So if you have someone, whether it's me or someone else that you love and you're shopping the sale, shopping through their links is a really great way to support them, and it doesn't cost you any more money. It just helps them. They make a small commission from your sale, and it really does help us out. So for all of you that use my links consistently, I love you so much, and I hope you know how much I appreciate it. So thank you so much for that, for using my links. But as always, there's no pressure to do so if you don't want to. And I think that's everything for today. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and also make sure you're following me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.